What's going on, guys? It's me, JV, coming to you live this Wednesday morning. Today is August 14th, 2024, and I wanted to talk to you about the immense problems that exist with living with an alcoholic and how they can completely suck your life dry and take away at least 5 years out of your life. I was actually reading an article this morning about statistical analysis that has been studied about and taken place in this country with regards to the impacts or the negative impacts that alcoholism has on other people's lives. And basically the study found that when you live with an alcoholic for an extended period of time, maybe 5 years, 10 years, with that person, that it can actually reduce your lifespan by about 3 years. 3 to 5 years, your lifespan will be reduced if you are exposed or live with an alcoholic. And the reason for that is the immense emotional, physical trauma, the abuse that you are subjected to living with an alcoholic, and the fact that it's just simply not a good way to live. It's a horrible way to live, and I can attest to that statistic because I lived with a drunk for many, many years. This individual would drink on a weekly basis, pretty much every weekend, and the person was a complete belligerent lunatic, out of control lunatic that would just completely lose control out of his senses once he got drunk. And it would be a mental abuse. The person would not allow you to sleep, for example. The person would attack you verbally with very, very aggressive language. And the person would actually also challenge you physically to a fist fight, among many other things. Not to mention the fact that the neighbors would sometimes call the police on the person because this individual would be so obnoxious that they would have the music going at all times. The music would be bumping in the middle of the night, on a Friday night, on a Saturday night, even on a Sunday night, because the person would just continuously drink throughout the weekend. So it wouldn't just be a one-off. It would be, drinking starting on a Friday night, drinking into Saturday morning, going to sleep for about 3 to 5 hours, and then on Saturday night they would go back to the bar and do it all over again. And then on Sunday would be the same thing. And it was just it was hell. It was just awful. And I have no sympathy for drunks as a result of my experience. I have zero respect for drunks. And I think that drunks should be held accountable by law enforcement for the things that they do. But the study was spot on. I was reading it and I was like relating to everything that was being written on that article. I said to myself, yep, this article is speaking to me. It is basically describing the absolute ordeal and turmoil that I went through when I was living with them. And it was just at least 2 weekends out of the month. And you couldn't even sleep. And if you try to to tell the person to turn off the music, if you told the person to go to sleep, they would get belligerent. They would become very antagonistic, and they would challenge you to a fight. And they would be rambling and yelling at you like a complete lunatic, like a crazy madman normally does. People that you see in mental institutions, or sadly enough, people that you see that are living out on the streets that have some serious mental problems and are homeless, That's the type of experience that I was having, or that I was witnessing myself, dealing with an alcoholic, dealing with a drunk. So my advice for anybody that's living with a person like that is, number one, try to get that person some AA assistance. Suggest to them, once they're healthy, once they're not under the influence of alcohol, to perhaps go to a shelter where they can live for an extended period of time until they can get their drinking problems under control. If that doesn't work, I would just leave the place. I would just leave. Pack your bags and leave. If you happen to be married to a drunk, I would divorce that person. Especially if I had kids, I wouldn't subject my kids to having to deal with a drunk. I would just leave immediately, without fail. I would get out of there before things really got out of control and became intolerable. So that would be my advice. But yeah, speaking as a person that was abused by a drunk, by an alcoholic, I can tell you that that would be the best avenue that you could take if you're living with a drunk, would be to do that. But I'm gonna find the article and I'm gonna post a link to it, in case you guys are interested in reading it. If I cannot find it right now, I'll do it on my next video. But I'm gonna post the link to the article so that you can take a look at it, because this is a serious issue. You know, this is definitely a very serious issue. There's about 30% of the American population that is currently exposed to a person that has alcoholic problems, to a drunk basically, and that's just inexcusable. So a lot of us are witnessing these people on a first-hand basis, and we got to do something about it. We got to eradicate the drunks from our society and make sure that we're not mentally and physically abused by them. But yeah, I just wanted to make a brief video here on this Wednesday morning. Today again is August 14th, it's 2024, and I will come back to you with another video relatively soon. Thank you for watching.